And I'm gonna do the Will Smith red carpet moment. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta. The Jetta typically competes with people and competitors such as the Honda Civic, the Toyota Corolla, and the Ford Focus. However, this iteration, the Mark 7, definitely is much more Audi than Honda. Now, with everyone going crossover crazy and flocking to the new Tiguan and the new Atlas, the Jetta has had a lot of room to step up its game. And it's a good thing it did, because new for 2019, we have an all-new redesign for the 7th time. We have the new Jetta. This is the Mark 7, and it's got a bunch of new goodies and toys. This is based on Volkswagen's beloved MQB platform that it now shares with the crossovers such as the Atlas and the Tiguan, as well as the Golf. It's a fantastic platform, and it's going to be a really fantastic car. So what do we get? We get a much appreciated makeover. We get a whole host of Audi trickle-down technology, and we get a very luscious interior wrapped in cowhide. I'd also like to thank my friends at Hall Volkswagen for making this review possible. They have been extremely helpful and just wonderful people to work with. I highly recommend going there if you have any Volkswagen related needs. But I would also like to take a moment to apologize for the state of this background. Apparently it can snow 6 inches in mid-April in Wisconsin, and no one cares. So I'm trying to convince my fiance to move. So I'm gonna ask you guys what you think. Should we go with Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, or Vietnam? Leave a comment in the comments below and let us know where we should go. But without further ado, let's get back into the Jetta. An enlarged, more muscular Audi-esque grille is appointed on each side by some beautiful newly redesigned LED headlights. The LED running lights are standard on all 5 trims of the Jetta. While the base S model comes equipped with 15-inch alloys, the SEL trims are equipped with much bigger and black polished 16-inch wheels. A semi-independent rear suspension allows for a much more dynamic and tailored driving experience than offered by competitors. A very Audi-esque rear is appointed by a feather-shaped taillight. LED taillights are standard on all trims as well as the headlights. While I do appreciate dual-tip exhausts, I really appreciate when the exhaust ports are real. As you can see, this is just plastic. Now, I can't really fault Volkswagen for doing this. It is much more attractive, but you can see the real exhaust down there, and they're not the only ones doing this, so I can't be that upset. We'll move into the trunk now. The trunk opens easily with the remote, as well as inside, and there's a button on the trunk. This is a pre-production model, so the hood or the trunk doesn't stay up as well as you would like, but you can see it's cavernous in there, as well as the rear seats split 60-40 as you would expect. SE trims and up come with Volkswagen's Smart Key Access. Essentially what this means is you can lock the car from your key fob, put it in your pocket, walk up to the door, touch the inside of the handle, and the car will unlock itself. You can then get in, press the push button start to begin, and when you leave, you simply press the outside of the handle and it locks itself. And who could forget the massive sunroof available on SEL trims and up? But the cabin is where you're going to spend most of your time, which is why VW has gone to extreme lengths to make sure that everything you touch and interact with is of the highest quality. Maybe not Audi quality, but very high quality, including that 8-inch head unit, a whole bunch of technology features, and the fit and finish is just exceptional. Little details such as the dash lining and the red accenting under the dash really add to the quality of this car. Small details, even like the bottom of the door, has a pattern. As you start up your Jetta, you'll be greeted with all sorts of welcome graphics. This is VW's digital cockpit, which is brand new for this Jetta and is exceptional. You can also control everything from the digital cockpit in the head unit. Of course, you have your radio functions, you have your media connectivity as far as Bluetooth phone. You obviously can make calls with your head unit as well, connecting and pairing your phone, and you have voice commands. Additionally, the nav screen you can have on either the head unit or in the digital cockpit in the cluster. I choose to have mine in the cluster because I think it looks pretty cool. This car is also equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And you can of course track all of your MPG and things such as that nature. And finally, this is your menu screen where you can select all of the things that you can use to customize your VW Jetta. I have to call it out because I do with every Volkswagen. It's the volume knob that does not stay oriented straight up and down, but rotates with the knob. SEL trims are equipped with Beats audio. And this is the digital cockpit that I want to get more in depth with you guys. It really is the coolest thing that I've seen in the auto industry. Audi brought their virtual cockpit to market a few years ago, and this is what it looks like. The Audi has Google Earth graphics, but that's really the only differentiation. And like I mentioned before, you can use this to cycle through all your menus that you would with the head unit, including parallel park assist and all sorts of safety features. Here's a live demo of me using the digital cockpit. As you can see, the map will orient as soon as you're moving to orient towards where you're going. An 8-inch head unit is new for 2019, and you can notice it in the GTI that I reviewed last week. 3-way heated and cooled seats are standard on the SEL trims, as well as a nice little cubby in front of the gauge cluster that is not wireless charging but has a nice USB. Auto start stop and drive modes selection is available, as well as a very deep center console with USB equipment. All windows are one touch up and down on SEL trims. The rear seat isn't necessarily palatial, and it's not necessarily the best equipped, but it is extremely comfortable. I've got plenty of room, as much as I would need. I'm 6'1", and the passenger seat is exactly where I would have it, riding comfortably in the car. So there's plenty of room, and it really is nice with the real leather that Volkswagen gives you, even in the back seat. Oh.
Car's alive.
It's very quiet. Very refined. Nice backup camera. All right, everyone, we are behind the wheel of the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta. I'm in a parking lot, so we gotta turn. We have to wait our turn to turn. Here we go. There we go. So one thing to know about this car is it comes with one engine option. It's a 1.4 liter inline 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated. It gives you just under 150 horsepower at 147. But it gives you 184 pound-feet of torque. So it's got a little push in the low end, but it's not the most sporty thing. Now, the GLI will eventually come as this car gets released, maybe at the end of 2019. It hasn't been disclosed yet. However, that will have the same engine as the GTI, the engine that I just drove in my last review, and that is a fantastic, turbo 4-cylinder with 220 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And that thing's got the DSG transmission in it, the dual clutch from Volkswagen. Lightning quick as a whip. It's fantastic transmission, it's very sporty, a whole lot of fun. So where this is really more of a refined, relaxed cruising car with all the safety features, the lane keep assist, the radar cruise, all that stuff, the GLI will obviously be more of a sporty orientation if you're into that sort of thing. But for what this car is, and with the virtual cockpit, digital cockpit, Audi's is virtual cockpit, Volkswagen's is digital cockpit, you really get a whole bunch of tech and a whole bunch of goodies to go along with your car, and it really is a fantastic value, in my opinion. So one thing that I noticed as well is the steering is extremely light. They don't want you to exert yourself too much. This isn't a sporty car. It's not pretending to be, but it really is comfortable. It's got enough power for you to get up to speed onto the highway. 0 to 60 is in just under 8 seconds, which is nothing to brag about, but you know, it's really not about that. It is extremely quiet and refined in this cabin. We've gone over a lot of really bumpy roads, and it still is really quiet. And you know, it's just extremely comfortable. The steering is really light, easy to work with, and the engine is very responsive. The last thing to note about this car is it does have the auto on-off, the auto start-stop. So as you come up to a light, the car will turn itself off to conserve fuel and everything. This car actually gets 30 miles per gallon city and 40 miles per gallon highway, which is pretty fantastic. And it comes with, the Hondas and some of the other Japanese cars, they have CVT transmissions. That's how they get their fuel economy, but this is actually not CVT, and there is no CVT option either. You can't get a manual in the same breath, but no, you don't really want a manual with this. Maybe in the GLI, it'll come with a manual transmission, but in the base car, even in the S, you get a nice 8-speed transmission here. The auto start stop is extremely intuitive. The second your foot comes off the brake, you really feel the car. Well, obviously it kicks back into life, and you don't notice it turn off. It's not like a super noticeable immediate shutdown and there's no more sound or anything. It is a very refined cabin. You don't get punished with that noise. So there you have it. That's the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta. I had a really great time shooting this review. Again, a huge thanks to Hall Volkswagen for making this happen. So go out there and check it out. So there you have it, guys. That is the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta. It's not super sporty or super aggressive behind the wheel, but it's not supposed to be. This is a commuter car. This is something for Volkswagen to sell to people that want to get to and from their jobs in a luxurious and convenient way. And like I said, the GLI is coming. That's going to give us probably the same engine that came in the GTI. That's 220 horsepower. And I think that's going to give this guy the pep it needs to compete with other competitors in the segment like the Civic Si. So overall, just a fantastic little car to get you from A to B. Loads of new technology, lots of creature comforts, and a whole bunch of stuff to keep you happy. So the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta will come at a base trim at about $18,500. To get the SEL trim, which is the trim that I would have, you're going to have to pay just about $26,750. However, it really is worth it and a great value when you think of all the Audi technology that they've trickled down into this. The digital cockpit remains to be one of the most exciting things that I've seen in the car industry today, and is a whole lot of fun to play with. There's a whole lot of safety features and just a whole bunch of creature comforts to keep you happy in the car, and it's an incredible value. So if you're looking for a small and compact sedan, look no further than the 2019 VW Jetta. So lastly, I'd like to thank Hall Volkswagen of Brookfield, Wisconsin for giving me this pre-production Jetta to show to you guys. This 2019 Jetta will hit their lots sometime in the month of May, so absolutely go down and take a look. Give it a test drive. They'll take great care of you. It's just a whole bunch of fun, and it really is a good car. It's a fantastic value, and you should really look into one if you're looking for a small sedan. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, leave a comment, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.